As a lot of you may already know, Anthony Davis re-aggravated his calf injury against the Denver Nuggets. He will reportedly miss at least the next 2 to 3 weeks before he will be evaluated again. But here, I have to say, I think this can be a blessing in disguise for LeBron James especially, and the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers. Before I get into any of that, let me state the obvious. Of course, this is not a good look for the Lakers because if without Anthony Davis the rest of the year, if that was the case, if this turns into a catastrophic injury, the Lakers' title hopes are over. This team is not a title contending team without Anthony Davis in the lineup. And in my estimation, Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in this league. Without AD, this team is a second-round exit and a tough out in the Western Conference at the very best. That is their ceiling. I don't believe they could beat the Jazz without AD. I certainly don't believe they could beat the Clippers without AD. And I absolutely don't think they could even be competitive against the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals without Anthony Davis. But here, this is where I think this could be a blessing for the Los Angeles Lakers. First things first, the key role players. Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, with LeBron's first year in LA, Kuzma looked like he was the second option on the team when they were in the Anthony Davis trade rumors. The Lakers really tried, and Rob Pelinka tried so hard to make sure the Lakers don't trade Kyle Kuzma, which they ended up keeping him, for Kuzma to be the third option on that team with AD arriving in LA. It didn't look like that last year, and it certainly doesn't look like that this year. Kyle Kuzma is not the guy we saw his first couple years in the league with Anthony Davis in the lineup for whatever reason. The ball's just not in his hands as much. Kuzma is just a guy, he's a scorer. He's an off-ball scorer, and he does not really do anything else. He doesn't play make, he doesn't defend, he doesn't really rebound. He's really just there to score. But now this is a perfect opportunity, which Kuzma told us in the offseason, that he's going to be a true key component to this team. And with AD not in the lineup, this is a perfect opportunity for him to prove that he's going to be a key part on this championship contending team when or if AD comes back. And the two best role players on this team, Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell. I believe Dennis Schroeder's just going to need the ball in his hands even more than he has. His minutes are going to ramp up, and he's going to have to be LeBron's Robin for the meanwhile that Anthony Davis is not in the lineup. And we know what Harrell brings to the table, given how aggressive he is on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. But who I really believe this is going to be a blessing to, that is LeBron James, and here's why. Of course, if the Lakers do not win the championship for whatever reason, whether AD is in the lineup or not in the lineup, it will be a stain on his legacy because ever since June 19th of 2016, LeBron has been compared to Michael Jordan every way possible, whether it's his legacy, what he does on the court, off the court, the way he talks, the way he walks. Every antic LeBron makes is compared to Michael Jordan ever since June 19th of 2016. And now, this late in his career, he needs to get the championships that Michael Jordan has if he wants to even think of catching the throne and the legacy of Michael Jordan. But here's where the blessing comes in. LeBron is not only right now the favorite to win his 5th career MVP, he's the favorite to win his 5th MVP according to the MVP Kia voting ladders. According to them, that is not my opinion, that is a fact. So with that being said, this is the perfect opportunity for LeBron to solidify himself as the MVP. Because like I already addressed in a previous segment about LeBron being the favorite to win MVP, it is all about narratives. The Lakers stand at the number 2 seed in the Western Conference at 21-7. LeBron this year is giving you over 25 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists on just under 50% field goal percentage and 38% shooting from three-point range. He looks better than he did last year, if you ask me. He is having a fantastic year. Again, the favorite to win MVP right now. And now with AD, his sidekick, not being there, now what's going to happen? His usage rate is going to amp up. His minutes are going to have to amp up. And not to mention, he's played he's played every game this year so far. I believe he's going to try to play all 72 games, and he will play all 72 games. After winning Finals MVP last year with the 5-month layoff, coming back in the bubble when we didn't know we were going to have a season, all that happened in the bubble, winning Finals MVP, getting 72 days off, and then returning this season, and now playing every single game. If LeBron could keep the Lakers in a top 2 to 3 seed in the Western Conference, and his numbers amp up, and he plays every single game, he will win his 5th career MVP. And as long as Anthony Davis is back in this lineup late in the season, moving towards the postseason, this will be the biggest blessing for LeBron's career. Because again, why I mentioned Michael Jordan and his legacy, every move that LeBron makes, it's compared to Michael Jordan. And we know Michael Jordan has 5 MVPs. LeBron James has 4 MVPs. If this late in his career, at year 18, age 36, he wins his 5th career MVP and has a great stretch during this regular season without AD to keep the Lakers on top of the Western Conference. This is the perfect opportunity for LeBron to solidify himself as the MVP of the league. And again, it's all about narrative. So Embiid having a breakout year looks like a one of the best players in the league this year. If he's having a breakout year, that will always give Embiid an edge to win MVP over LeBron because of voter fatigue. And again, like I stated before, the media likes LeBron, but they love Michael Jordan. And I am still in the belief the media does not want LeBron to win his 5th MVP. But if Anthony Davis is out for a significant period of time, the Lakers remain a top seed in the Western Conference. LeBron's numbers and minutes amp up, which I believe his points per game is going to amp up. I believe his assists per game are going to amp up, not only his minutes. And if he plays all 72 games, I believe the media will have no choice. Nobody will have no choice but to crown LeBron as the league MVP in year 18 at age 36. And looking back at his legacy, this will be a year to remember. If they can't win a championship because AD isn't there, but he has a 5th MVP in a Lakers uniform this late in his career, that will be a huge mark on his legacy. So with that being said, and like I already addressed, this Anthony Davis injury is really a blessing in disguise for especially LeBron James, and I could really say the Los Angeles Lakers, as long as Anthony Davis returns to the lineup at some point during this regular season. That's my take on the Anthony Davis injury. Please let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of Anthony Davis's injury? Is this going to affect the Lakers? Is this going to hurt them down the road? Or do you agree with me that this is actually a blessing in disguise? But thank you for watching my content. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check out more of my content.